Good afternoon, More Medic 1. Get my air compressor fired up, and we're going to work on a lawnmower. Going to rebuild the carburetor on a 3.5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine. Stay tuned. Well, the first thing you want to do is wash this thing off. It's pretty nasty. In my case, I'm just going to use air to blow the carburetor off and the air filter off and stuff like that. Remove your air filter and inspect it. If it's dirty, replace it or clean it. Pretty bad. It's getting kind of weird outside again. To remove the carburetor, you have two screws. One 3/8 headed screw here on front of the gas tank, and one more right here. It's a 1/2 inch. It's actually, if you order this part number, they call it a head bolt because that's what it is. They use a head bolt to actually attach this gas tank to the engine block. Once you get the two bolts removed, you're going to wiggle this carburetor off like that, and you'll see it's going to be held on by linkage. You'll just take this carburetor and just twist it a little bit. It'll pop right off of there. Slicker than a baby's bottom. We'll get the carburetor off the gas tank here in just a second. Next step is to remove the screws holding the the carburetor to the gas tank. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Once you remove all the screws, you can take the carburetor straight out of the gas tank. Inspect your diaphragm. It's very common for these to get a wrinkle in them right behind where the carburetor is right here. See where that's wrinkled? If that diaphragm gets a kink in it or wrinkles right there, it sucks raw gas right into the combustion chamber, and it's going to cause it to run very rich. It's going to bog down and foul out your plug, and you're not going to be able to mow because the daggum engine won't start. But we're going to replace this diaphragm, and we're going to clean the carburetor, and we're going to put it back together and see how it runs. Remove your carburetor or your gasket and diaphragm, and here's your carburetor. Sometimes this fuel filter screen will come right off. Sometimes they're melted on there and you can't get them off very easy, but they will come off. Remove your diaphragm spring so you don't lose it. The passages that you want to blow out are here. Is your main jet. You don't want to really blow anything in here because you'll over pressurize the primer bulb and you'll blow it out of there. But blow that air bleed out right there, and just make sure the primer's working, and you should be good to go. I'll show you what I mean by the primer bulb. You don't want to blow too much air in there because you can blow that out. I don't recommend using very caustic carburetor cleaner on these plastic carburetors because it will make them swell up, and you could possibly melt this plastic. If you have to soak it, I'd soak it in some denatured alcohol or something like that. Going to get a little hairy right here because a lot of times if you look down in there, the gas tank will just be full of rust, and you want to be sure to clean out all the orifices, like right here, the fuel, I call it the fuel bowl. There'll be rust and scale down in there. Be sure you blow all that out, and blow all the transfer tubes out here and all that good stuff, and just make sure the gas tank's really clean. Go ahead and get your gaskets laid out and inspect those and make sure they're the right ones. I verify that they're the right ones. The part number on these used to be 495770, and they were that for years and years and years. They've changed the part number to a 795083. It's the same gasket. I don't know why they changed the part number, but lay your diaphragm on the gas tank first and then install the gasket like that. Be sure to put your fuel filter back on the carburetor, and also install your diaphragm spring on there. And I can't do it one-handed, so I'll have to do it here just a second. Ease your carburetor back down onto the gas tank. Make sure all the holes are lined up. And install your screws in a crisscross pattern, and don't overdo it because you can warp the carburetor. Basically just hook the carburetor back up to the linkage on the governor spring and arm here, and bolt it back up. Go ahead and don't forget your air cleaner gasket. I see a lot of these missing. A lot of times they stick to the air filter, and when you go to clean it, it falls off. But go ahead and clean and re-oil your air filter, and put it on. And this is going to be made out of plastic, so be careful. Again, don't over torque your air filter, which this one has been, but it'll be okay for now. Pour your little gas in the tank. Put a little gas in it and pull the rope and see how it goes. Good to go. Mower Medic 1. If you have any questions about Briggs & Stratton engines or lawnmower engines in general, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Y'all have a great night.